Go ahead and unmute it, and we're gonna go ahead and go live. And there's a celebrity on the screen, and we got a celebrity in chat, Mr. Stan Tenacious TX Vapes. Got to pick on him.
Oh boy,
Got to
Stan
pick
the
on
man.
him. Yeah.
So, we're live right now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, what's up, Mr. Catley? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just busy with the baby and the family and build mods and all that good stuff.
Well, I definitely wanted to have you on the show because I feel like you make a great product, and I feel like we should do buffets. So do some buffets so we can give you some homage. How about that? If someone wants to go first,
Sure.
Mr. William or Eric, whichever one of you guys wants to go first.
I'm not. You know what? Make me laugh because I'm the one who doesn't own one of his boxes.
That's okay. Still do a buffet, man.
Well,
All right.
are you going?
Go ahead.
Bill? You want me to go?
No,
All right. Well, last week was my birthday, and so I got myself one of these beautiful specimens here, and it's pretty weird that the guy right there is who made this thing. So, yeah, gorgeous piece of work. I got the day one on top of that with some transistor lemonberry inside of it. Then I got my Box Mod Mafia Tiny version 2 with the basic 1.1, and I got Raspberry Lemon Law inside of that. I got that Steam Rocket that I recently did a review on, as well as I recently did a review on the Lazy Vapors mod. And on top of that, you know what this is? You know what this is, Bill? Bill's supposed to be doing his review on this, and he hasn't done it yet.
My Prestige.
Yeah, the Prestige RDA, and inside of there I got Squeeze Lemonade, and then I got my my all-day setup, the one that works so well, but I'm also not super petrified of it breaking and doing damage to it, is my top side with the gin on top of that and Phoenix Vapor Blue Punch inside of there. And I will pass it to whoever the fuck wants to go next.
All I'm vaping is Lazy Vapors box mods, topped with the same Addy I've been using for 6 months, the Recurve, and yeah, there's mine.
Man, those things look so fucking dope.
Yeah, I like the ergonomic ones better.
Yeah, me too. They're a lot stronger too, believe it or not. The frame itself is a lot thicker, a lot more dense. I got a whole line of them above my head. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can. Oh shit! Hold on. I'm not used to this whole thing. So how do I switch it? All right, there we go. All right, so up here. Let's see.
This
I got
is so
this.
cool right now, I gotta say.
This is a fish scale with Moondrop.
Woo!
Those are the fucking nicest ones, man.
Yeah, this is the shot y'all always see. This is my Da Vinci drawing from Eric Vinyl and Vapor. I don't know if y'all always wonder what the hell that is.
I was going to ask you what that was.
Yeah, he drew that for me years ago, man. It was like 3 years ago, and I met him for the first time, and he made cool artwork, and I really like Da Vinci, and we put that on a T-shirt.
I thought it was Vape Moses.
Yeah, it kind of does look like him, doesn't it? Yeah, it does a little bit. I always call him, well, I can't say Geppetto, but looks like Geppetto. But yeah, so anyways, I have another two-tone stab wood. This is going to India. This is going to a couple in India. They had they wanted their daughter's name engraved on the inside, so I engraved. Her name is Ahana. Pretty name.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that's a nice looking engraving, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And I put a mica powder, impregnated mica powder on the very bottom of the engraving to make it look a little bit prettier. And let's see, y'all have seen the full Moondrop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cool, man. Yeah, this thing is super, super cool. There's a bunch of other ones up here. It's just a whole lineup. These are all being shipped out. There's the little guy. And this one's pretty cool. This was an old one that I did with the Dragon Scale with the two-tone. This is the, God, help me here, Bomber Pro MOSFET.
Ooh.
I always thought the Dragon Scale looked it looks very unique because you're the only person I've ever seen make mods like that. So
yeah, that's pretty. I think I am the only person. There's a guy apparently that copied me in the knife making world, and he's been he's been trying his damnedest to copy me for making handle material. So I called him out last week about that. But he's a nice guy, so I don't care if he does it. I was just wondering if he got the idea for me, and he did. So he fessed up, which is not super common.
Yeah, most people would not do that.
No, they normally fight you tooth and nail. But I think it was kind of obvious because he had liked my photos for like 3 weeks consecutively. And and then
he wasn't making mods though.
I know, right? It's not really competition, but
he's trying to perfect how to copy your shit.
Yeah, he was. He was doing a fair job, man. I give him kudos. He was a really nice guy, though, just an old school, knife maker fella. I'm not really in that knife making world, but he was a nice guy. So, anyways, on to the next guy. Who else is vaping some cool things that I've never seen before?
Well, I mean, I can go next, but that's going to be some of your stuff. But I got the 75C with the Poet on top, Poet RDA.
Was there a squonk bottle in there?
No, there's no squonk bottle in here.
You're just dripping it?
Yeah, I'm just dripping it. I don't know. I can't find my squonk bottle, but there's the Lipo 250C.
What type of squonk does that take?
It does have a squonk bottle in it. I got reviews for both of these if you guys want to check them out. Anybody in the...
I got a Piezo bottle, brand new over here, that I don't use. I'll send it to you.
Well, that'd be great.
I found that the Lost Vape bottles fit pretty good in Seth's boxes.
Yes, those, and if you've ever seen like the square bottles, like the rectangular ones, those ones fit really good too. Also, I got the review up for the Poet RDA if you guys check that out. And I think the other thing I'm really vaping right now is this, but it's the Wicked RDA with the my favorite mod ever, the Fuchai. But yeah, what about you, Bill?
I'm doing my usual. Everybody knows this one, the Taiji. I love this thing. It's still my all-time favorite mod. But Citadel on top. I have my fancy Snapwood Chronic box. I have the basic 1.1 with some fancy Squunk Donkey cap to match the Snapwood, and my new baby, which is my Cycloid 2.1 Ultim with the Prestige and a Never Normal Black Damastic cap. And let me see, Philosopher's Stone Immortality, Jam Monster PB and Jam, and this is Dinner Lady Blackberry Crumble.
Nice collection. Man, y'all got some really cool stuff, man. Y'all making me feel bad. I'm like the guy that like has his own landscaping company that never cuts his own grass. Kind of like that. I'm that guy, man. I feel like a shit all the time. Everybody's like, "Have you heard of this new?" And I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on right now. I live in my own little world.
So I know Steve has some questions for you, Seth, and I definitely do too. But I think we should do some shout outs before we get rolling here.
Cool. How do I view the live chat? Am I able to view it, or is it only from y'all guys?
Yeah, just
if you're on the phone, you can't see it. Yeah. I gotta bring mine up on my computer.
Okay.
Shout out some people then. There's Show and Tell Vapes, Spencer Fernandez, Philly Vapes, of course, Subaru Nerd Vapes, Louis Nicolette, Todd Black.
Familiar names.
What's up?
I hear some familiar names.
Some familiar names.
I do.
Tenacious TX, Sick Boy, fictitious character.
The celebrity Tenacious TX, by the way. You got to call him.
The celebrity Tenacious TX.
Yep.
Number one. Mailman Vapes 2. What's up, buddy boy? Tony Berry. Kind of sounds like Halle Berry. You know what I mean?
No, I got a bit of a chuckle. I saw somebody in the chat went Tony B, and I was like,
yeah, me too.
Tony?
I saw that, yeah. Martin, and I think that's about it. Tommy Vapors.
Did you get Mailman Vapes too?
Yes. Yeah. I said, what's up, buddy boy?
Buddy boy.
You got Black Cat in here?
I didn't see him in here.
Oh, Black Cat, bam.
Oh.
But yeah, so Seth, I think you have an interesting story for how you started your company, and I feel like you should, kind of tell us.
Yeah, I want to know the name.
Sure, why not?
What the name?
Yeah, right on. So, well, I guess it was 4 years ago. Oh, well, let me think. I always get my timeline messed up. 4 to 5 years ago, somewhere around there. And that was whenever I kind of discovered vaping. And the way I've always worked, whenever I discover something new, I try to kind of do it myself, you know?
Sure.
And the main thing was the juice. And I was like, I can do that. You know, all this, you know, online recipe mixes and stuff like that. I can do it myself. So I decided I was going to make my own juice company. And I never forget. I had my own little pressure washing business at the time. I've always had a pressure washing business, but I had that going. So I was like, all right, I'm good there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this venture on. So I didn't have the money to get it started completely. I was pretty broke at the time, to be completely honest. And I remember I went to the bank and I got a loan for $5,000. And I went, as soon as I got that loan, I went home and I ordered a bunch of like DIY mixing equipment, like things of nicotine, all the stuff that everybody's already aware of, right? And I was wondering, me and my, well, now wife, but at the time she was my girlfriend, and we were driving, and I was like, I really need to know a good name for this company, because what I was going to do was I was going to do a juice delivery service. I live near a university, UNC Charlotte, so I was like, I'm going to do a juice delivery service and charge a fee of like $5 for a minimum of $25 orders. And I was like, man, that's genius. And really it is. Like in New Jersey, I believe it's New Jersey, there's like a beer delivery service. And the guy makes a fucking killing. The guy so I'm sure there's multiple companies now, but at the time he made a lot of money. And I was like, you know what? I need to do that. So I was talking to my girlfriend, my wife, and I was like, what should I call it? And she was like, well, Lazy Vapors. And I was like, oh my God, genius. Yes, it's Lazy Vapors. That makes total sense. And it was kind of like a play on words, and it made sense, and it was a little bit catchy, but it was simple. It didn't have any weird spelling or anything. And I was like, well, that's it. We'll go with that. And it ended up being a total flop. I worked at it for probably 6 months. I worked my ass off, and nothing. I don't even think I got one order. And I was like, damn it, man, I don't know what to do. Well, I always had a knack for building stuff. And so I went to Home Depot and I went to their specialty lumber section and got a bunch of 1/4-inch oak. And I was like, well, I'm going to make box mods because the ones I really wanted were wood. And I was like, well, I'm going to make my own. So I started making my own, and one thing led to the next. I sent my first mods for review to Big Lou East Coast Review.
Oh, he's cool, man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. But I sent him this some wacky looking triple 18650 box with this overbuilt 40 amp switch that I suppose, had like these made up reviews from Granger.com, and it was a mess. It was like a 40 amp limit, and it was total bullshit. But yeah, that was my first mod, and then ever since then it was just a slow progression to like where it is now. Like I think that happens with every company, but especially modders. Like if you look at Dendro, I don't know if you're familiar with Dendro. Mm-hmm. He's like I'm high end, but he's like ultra high end. We're reaching the $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 marks sometimes. And if you look where he started to now, that's kind of like where I was. I mean, I was making mods with bolts, like literal bolts for the Switch. It was the most ridiculous looking thing you've ever seen. I had a table saw in my closet at my apartment. And I had I had a combo belt sander on my patio, and I would just sit there sanding wood all day and cutting it up. I mean, it was a real hot mess. So it was a struggle, man. And it was a real struggle trying to convince people, my family, that I could do this, because they were looking at these little wooden boxes going, how are you ever going to make a living doing that? And now it's to the point now where everybody's like, so like, where are you going next? Like I'm going to Germany in a few months. I'm in the Modders Gallery for every single event from here on automatically, and they're like, wow, that's really cool. It's a blessing. It's really, really interesting.
Are you coming up to Vegas next year?
Yes, I'll be there next year as well. Yeah.
And you'll be at NVE?
Saving up now.
Yeah, NVE in Connecticut. I'll be there 100% going to NVE. I got to be a little bit more picky because this last year, most shows were a flop. Most shows for modders galleries, at least, were a flop. I mean, every time I went, I always sold no less than 4 mods. But whenever you're going out there and you're doing you're basically building a whole bunch of mods, and then you sell 4, but you're sitting on 11, and then you use up all this really nice stab wood for mods that maybe other people don't want. You're like, oh my God, what did I just do? I just basically used like the most primo stuff I had to build mods that nobody wants. It's just like, so I got to be more picky this year for sure. But Connecticut for sure, Las Vegas, definitely Germany. Germany's probably the only. That's probably the only international trip I'm going to take. 30,000 people, I'll be there for sure.
Well, I know the first time I ever talked to you, I'm pretty sure this was a piece that you took with you to one of your shows, right?
Indeed, yeah. That was the one I had up front and center that got all the attention. Yeah, I'll never forget that one. Man, I'd kill to have that stab wood.
Yeah, is. I mean, I wish if you could just see it in person. And I know Eric, he has one he can look at in person. I mean, I feel like your box mods are very unique compared to a lot of other stab wood boxes on the market at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them,
Photos and video really don't do it justice. You can't tell from photos and video how beautiful they are. But Stan said to tell Seth he's going to need you to bring something really cool to NVE. He has the OG Boves, and he needs the new and improved.
Oh, you got it, Stan. I got you covered, man.
I do it justice because, honestly, I saw a lot of photos of them, and I was trying to figure out if it was stab wood or just heavy, heavy shellac on them, some type of polyurethane to make them that polished.
Yeah, the finishing process, it's no big secret. If you dive deep enough into like a woodworker magazine, you'll kind of find what I do. So there's a couple different kinds of finishes. Now I've kind of gone through like all of them. I think every single one I've gone through and figured out what doesn't work, what does work. So there was like lacquer, and there was enamel that you buy just over the counter at Home Depot. Then there was polyurethane. Then there was oil finishes. I did oil finishes for a while, like a good while, and they worked really, really well. But the only downfall to oil finishes is that they don't have a high shine. As soon as you put your hand on them, they turn to it just looks like you've been eating pizza all day, like at a New York parlor, and you just put your hand all over your mod and it's just covered with just stuff. So I was like, man, what do I got to do? So then I started experiment with 2-part auto clear, like professional auto clear. So I'll take the mod, I'll hand sand it up to 1500 grit, wet sand it, that'll make the grain rise. Then I'll sand it again to make that grain go down. And then that's whenever the 2-part clear comes in for the auto. And dude, that stuff is just absolute. It really is something else, because those mods that they both have are just they're gonna always look fresh, because that clear coat is just absolutely insane. And it makes it really nice, because if anything were to ever happen where you have like micro scratches, literally, I put it on a buffing wheel for maybe 30 seconds. It looks brand new. Literally, I had the same mod for a year, and people didn't even know that they thought I just made it yesterday. Pretty awesome stuff.
Do you have any 21-700s on hand with you, or no, of the new?
Yeah, well, like on hand, like to ship like tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but I have all the stuff. I just got a new order of. You got to see this crazy looking wood. Hold on. I'm just in my little tinker office right now, by the way. Let me see. So anyways, just give you a walk around.
I like the alligator, man.
There's my Goonies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Beetlejuice. Now, and then here's my wood stash.
Right there.
What did you say?
That's an 80s man right there.
Oh, yeah, dude. I live for that shit. Let's see here. I'm trying to find this. So this is where I kind of keep my stash. This is all exotic wood. I mean, this is a big old piece of Buckeye burl I just got. I'll be using this to make some kind of crazy stand. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, it's nice. Beautiful. Let's see. Where's that redwood that I had? Oh, here it is. So this stuff, I don't know. Do you like red?
Yeah, I don't mind red.
So this is Bubinga.
Bubinga.
And
Bubinga.
Bubinga. Just some old Italian guy ran in the woods one time and chopped the tree down. I was like, oh, Bubinga.
Bubinga.
Yeah, but this is Bubinga. So
I got taking beating too.
Say that again?
Wood. That's some tough wood.
Oh yeah, this stuff is incredible. It's super, super hard. And then, did you see that new stuff that I'm making? The new resin material?
Ooh. I didn't see that.
Yeah, this stuff is.
Well, don't let Phyllis see that.
Yeah.
And I think the back, well, this is technically supposed to be the back, but me too. I actually like this side better than this side, but this side has like, it's like 3-dimensional. Anyways, what I'm getting to is I have everything on hand to make a mod, but I don't have a mod on hand, so turnaround time would be low since I already have all the materials. So.
Well, because I'm looking, I want to get a 21700 in some point. So.
Okay. Yeah, I got you covered. Just hit me up.
Will do.
Yeah, man. So, any more questions?
Yeah, I was wondering. So, in my review, I talk about one of the things that kind of astounded me the most was the frame. The frame inside there, and just this design on the outside of the door, and how well it just clicks in very easily. How many tries did it take you to get this kind of design right for the door? It's definitely unique.
It took me a lot of tries, because what I was running into was I wanted the mods to be as small as they possibly could, right? But this you'll find this with a lot of how do I put this? Like if you see mods that are stab wood or any other material, the panels are always very thin, right? They're normally about 1/8 of an inch to maybe 4 millimeters. And whenever there's no bracing, no matter what you do, they're going to bow and warp. They're going to naturally bow and warp just because of temperature and other variations. So what happened was I was running into the same issue for a while, and I was like, man, I got to fix this. And I was like, wait, this is pretty easy. I'll just put an internal divider, and that one little strut on the door will keep it. Well, it won't necessarily stop it from bowing, but it'll prevent it from bowing any kind of significantly, like any, I don't know, preventing it from bowing enough for you to notice. And whenever I put that one little strut in there, that little spine, I was like, this is great. This is so great. And then not to mention, you can put a magnet in there, a really strong magnet. I mean, that magnet that's in all those mods has like a 3 or 4 pound pull.
Yeah.
So it adds strength. It adds kind of like a neat, like little feature. And yeah, it separates, like especially in the mechanical squonks. Now, this is what I'll say about the mech squonks. So most mechanical squonks that I've noticed, that I've seen, almost none of them have an actual spine that has a separate magnet. The magnets are housed on the actual panel, and the magnets stick to the battery. Well, the door is only going to stay on as good as the battery will stay in. Because if the battery's loose in there, the door is just going to fall off with it. But with this case, it separates the juice and the battery, which is kind of cool. It kind of compartmentalizes everything. And then you can put that magnet right in the middle. I don't know why I haven't seen it done like that, and I don't know why. I don't understand why, but
what's funny is that's exactly what I pointed out, is how it I can't say words right, but compartmentalizes that word. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But
there's another mod who does something not on the spine, but takes that out of the equation, and that was the Cycloid, because their magnets are actually over the squonk model, not on the battery, and they have compartmentalized too.
I like that. What is the name of them? What's the name of the company?
Cycloid. Here, look.
Okay.
That's the magnets right there.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the door's aluminum, so it doesn't warp. So it's the same. I like the fact that it doesn't stick to the battery, because if you have a loose battery or your contacts aren't that great and your battery's sliding around in there, your door's sliding around too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm OCD. I run my fingers over the mod. If I can feel where the door ends and the body begins, I obsess over it.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be.
Yeah. Sometimes I actually had some guy send me a mod. He sent me it back because he said that the door was too tight, and I was like, oh, it's too tight. That's weird. I was like, well, if it's too tight, just go ahead and send it back, and I'll do a little finagling to it and make it work. And he sent it back to me. It was perfect. I was like, oh no, man, it's just that this is the way that it is. It just fits really good. And he was just so taken back by it. And I sent him a little quick video of how I take the doors off. He's like, oh my God, you made that look so easy. Because there's really no wiggle room with the doors. It's like they just kind of go on, and then you almost like Grim Green. Whenever I've been going back and forth with Grim Green for years, just years and years. And like every time he holds it, he's like, you almost can't tell where the door is and where the back is. It's just very, you know. But yeah, as far as like handmade stuff, that's pretty good. But
well, piggybacking off what Eric said about the compartmentalizing, I think even your custom, like just your frames in there, I think are very good. I think that, and just how it fits like a puzzle, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
that's Delrin. That's Delrin, by the way. I don't know if y'all were interested in that, but that's white Delrin.
Sure.
That's kind of what I figured. Yeah. Well,
do you still send them out in the white Delrin?
Yeah.
No, I stopped doing that. Yeah, I stopped doing here. I think I actually have a mod.
I have one here.
You have one of those cases?
Yeah, hold on. I'll grab it too. Well, no, if you're going to grab it, go ahead, man. I have a couple of them. I have 2 of them.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
I stopped making these. So I thought these were really, really cool, but
they are, man, because they protect you from USPS, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the USPS monsters.
Yeah.
Yes. So here, this is interesting. I haven't actually showed one of these in a long. I don't think I only showed these one time since I made them. So here we go. So I thought these were kind of interesting. So
this shit's like a puzzle too, man.
It really is. So I actually got to figure out which side is up. How am I going to do this? All right, I'm just going to take a guess. All right, so these little tabs all pop out, right? These all pop out. There's actually a mod in here. I'm holding it for a customer. All right, so you take that off. Then this top piece, God, this is hard to do with one hand. Shit. All right. Oh yeah, I got it right. So then
I feel robbed right now. I didn't get one.
Don't feel robbed. So yeah, well, see, the orange is leaking out. This stuff is really heavily dyed. And then the mod just kind of fits down in there. It's all custom cut foam, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But I got a lot of complaints actually, because people would try to get a hold of me and say, I don't know how to get this thing open, man. It's like the Hellraiser box, and I'm like, well, I mean, I can show you a video about how to take it apart. It's really, really easy. And I just got so frustrated with people contacting me saying that they couldn't take it apart, and I was just like, oh my God, you know what? I'm sending them out in cardboard boxes. And that's what it's going to be. I used to actually, there was a time where I would like send things to people, and I had like you ever been to Myrtle Beach? Have any of y'all ever been to Myrtle Beach?
I've been to Myrtle Beach.
So there's a restaurant there called Dick's, right? And like all the waiters
here too.
Yeah, okay.
Love that place.
So it's like a theme, right? Like everybody's an asshole to you. So like I thought that it was funny that I was like a funny guy. So I used to take old Playboys and wrap mods up in these old Playboy rip-outs and ship them to people just to be funny. And I would like close up the paper with like old like Band-Aids, like Crayola Band-Aids. And I thought it was funny, but I stopped doing that too because nobody thought that was funny. You order a $500 mod and it's wrapped in old Playboy rip-outs and Band-Aids. I guess it's not funny, but
I can appreciate that.
You should have done that for Steve because his mom threw away his stash last week.
Oh, did it?
You gotta send me some, man. I'm all out of mine.
Oh man, they're all old, so they all got the bush.
So we got a couple questions in chat. Or one's kind of like a suggestion, one's a question for Seth, and there's actually a question for Bill as well. I'll switch to Bill really quick because this one's more just silly. But they want to know what the sticker on your shirt says. Does it say that you quit smoking using Juul, that you gave blood, or that you voted?
All right, no. This is going to be for the old people. I'll guarantee just seeing the posters in Seth's room, he's going to get this joke. The sticker says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Is that a Star Wars thing?
Oh, come on. The Princess Bride.
I knew that.
What is it again?
Robo-Bill's here, sorry. It's from Princess Bride.
Okay. Well, now I feel like I let you down because I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm sorry.
So now for the questions that were for Seth. Well, there's kind of three. So some of them are comments, but Stan said he wants one of those resin mods. He said that's the one I want when you were showing that. fictitious character suggested making an option if people wanted that shipping crate or not? Because people like me are like, holy shit, I want that, you know?
I'll bring it back. Sure, why not? I'll bring it back.
But I guess
still got two of them, man.
some people could say they want it and then get pissed when they get it and if they can't figure out how to open it. So,
yeah, I just won't tell them how to open it. I'll just be like, hey, listen, full disclosure, I'm not telling you shit when you get it. You have fun.
And then Tony Berry asked if you would take a block of wood or resin if someone sent it to you for a custom job.
Yes, yeah, I take some money off too. So for you sending your own block, and it depends on what kind of block it is, because the whole block is not going to be used for one mod. So it's basically like I'm also paying the difference to own the rest of that block. So you're saving money, and yeah, it worked. Yes, in short, sorry, long answer, short answer. Yes, I accept blocks. Absolutely.
I think you should send that box to everybody, and as soon as they message you asking how to open the box, tell them you don't deserve the mod, send it back.
Yeah. that wouldn't be good for me because I'd have to give refunds and deplete my bank account.
I just said send
send the box back. Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know when I first got that white box, I was thinking, man, how the hell do you open this thing, man? But, you know, if you just stay there for a while, if you want it bad enough, you know, you'll find a way to open it.
The only reason he figured out how to get the box open is because he threw it against the wall and one of the clips popped off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the next question, it sounds like Tony's or Show and Tell Vapes actually is asking where to get a hold of you to order one.
Just go on Facebook and type in Lazy Vapors Box Mods, and then I think it's called an asterisk, the little star thing, and it says asterisk main page asterisk. So Lazy Vapors Box Mods asterisk main page asterisk.
And that leads me to my next question, because I was shocked. I had been asking Steve how to get it, and he told me to go to the group and all that, and I was shocked that, and I don't know if you know Charles Rowe at all from Box Mod Mafia.
I do not, but the Box Mod, the brand sounds familiar. Yes.
That's these guys. They he's similar in the way that he handles almost all parts of the process as well, and that shit just amazes me. And I'm curious, like, of situations, and you don't have to, obviously we don't expect you to say names, but I was just kind of curious, like when I got it, and as Steve talked about it earlier, the USPS Monster, has there ever been a situation, people are paying good money for these mods, and you're spending good money and both time and money, right? Because your time is money when you're designing these things. Have you had situations where they've been damaged in shipping, those kind of things, and how have you handled those? Only once, and I can say that with complete honesty. And I'm honestly grateful that it's only been one time. But it was a small thing. Anytime. So this is what I've noticed with modders. So this is just kind of I'm just kind of like setting up this question, or this answer rather. Before I started building mods, I used to always hear about modders having a bad rep. Like all the stories I heard, like modders were so like pompous and like, don't talk to me, get on a list, pay to get on a list to get a mod, then pay more money to get a mod, and this and that, the other. And I was just like, man, there's no way that all these modders are such assholes, And then this is where it came up, where there was actually times and stories where a modder would ship a mod and it would come damaged, and the modder would be like, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, sorry, like it's on you. And normally the customer is kind of left almost at a loss, because most people are not willing to like say, hey, no, listen, that's not cool, you need to fix this. Most people aren't, and that's kind of people are pushovers is what I'm getting to. Yeah. And I always found it kind of strange that people would take advantage of that. So anytime, now that's only happened once, mind you, but when it did happen, I could tell that it was because of the shipping. I can tell that it wasn't because he opened it, used it, dropped it, and was like, uh-oh, like, I just got it, and I actually did mess it up, but now I'm going to blame it on the UPS guy. I had him ship it back. I paid for return shipping. I fixed it up. I sent it back to him, and I've always done that. The Dragon Scale mods, this is a pretty good example of how I work. If anybody else is, thinking about ordering or just curious about how I work, as far as like ethics go.
Dragon Scale it definitely is strong. It's strong enough. Otherwise, I'd have never used it on a mod. It is strong enough to be put on a mod, but overall, it's more for aesthetics. And if you're too rough on the stuff, if it breaks along the lines of the Dragon Scale. So there's been 2 cases where Dragon Scale, like the mod I showed you earlier, the really cool looking one, the Bomber Pro MOSFET. A good customer named Eric. He dropped it. He had hello Eric. He dropped it. My name is Eric, and I'm an alcoholic. So no, I'm just kidding. He dropped it, and it broke, and he had the piece, and I just had him ship it back, and I fixed it just pro bono. I mean, it's been probably 4 months. I mean, he's had it for 4 months. The thing looks brand new still. You can tell he uses it all the time based on the little rings where the atomizer screws down. But I don't mind fixing it. I mean, it's really no money out of my pocket. I mean, what is it? $4 or something for shipping. I mean, really, I'm not going to complain about it. And if a chip goes bad, see, Evolve, they've recently been sending out a lot of 250Cs with bad screens, and that's starting to wear on me. I'm getting a little irritated by 250Cs, to be completely honest. But even then, I'll just replace it for free. I mean, there's no reason to talk about money or, try to get somebody to, pull out their wallet and give me $20 to fix. It's no big deal.
But those chipsets aren't cheap at all. Does Evolve eventually give you a new one and you just put it in the next mod? Whoa.
No, not usually. And the times that it has happened, and now I'll take that back. Evolve, I emailed them one time because 6 screens were bad out of 7 chips. That's really bad.
That's awful.
That's really, really bad. And I was at a loss, man. I was like, what is going on right now? I mean, I had, consistently, I probably have a dozen orders pending at any given moment. So normally whenever it gets to the end towards shipping time, that's whenever the chip's installed. And that's whenever people are like, okay, here comes shipping day. And then I'm like, oh my God, the chips are bad, and it's just like the whole world just melts. And I emailed him. I was like, guys, listen, 6 screens are bad. This is freaking nuts, man. And they look different too. And I noticed the back of the screens are normally black plastic. These were all like silver tin. It was very strange. And I was like, are these like not real or something? I didn't even know if people were investing time into making counterfeit DNA 250C chips. I don't see how that would be profitable. You do never know. You really never know. But I was like, this can't be. And they shipped me. They actually shipped me 8 free ones, which was nice. So that's a testament to good customer service, I suppose.
There he is. See, now look, I always felt like, just from buying stuff off you in the past, I've always felt like you were very easy to just, this is what you want, this is what you're going to get, and you get it. There's no bullshit. I feel like you're very straightforward, and I feel like you're not one of them modders that's a dick, man, and that's why I really wanted you on the show, because I feel like, you would be a good guest to talk about all this stuff and be open about everything you do, all the stuff you make, and it's just very interesting,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, I'm in it for the longevity of it, I definitely foresee, fortunately for me, I've seen modders drop like flies all around me since I started. Even whenever I wasn't making very good stuff, I was I was learning. I'm constantly learning, and in learning, I'm constantly I have to have customers to fuel this learning curve, and it's just like I just know that I want to do this for a long time, and I can see the clock is ticking. I can see it, but it hasn't slowed down for me. It's really picked up, and I think really the main reason I am constantly evolving. I'm constantly changing. You'll always see me offering something new, which that's just how I work. That's not me trying to get like a hey, this is new, buy it. It's not like that. It's really just me getting bored of something and doing something new. But I'm in it for the longevity of things. So the last thing I want to do is screw somebody up, because social media is a killer.
Yes.
If you screw up one time, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be I was sourcing this water jet company for a while to cut my contacts out for my mechanical splonks, and dude, he was doing great. All of a sudden, one bad review, the guy was going under. It was really scary. And I was like, I've seen this happen with modders left and right. I mean, I can name, I won't, but I could name probably at least 5 or 6 that I've known that were doing good work. And then all of a sudden, because they either shit somebody out of money one time, or they just came across as snarky one time. And then next thing you know, social media had them just like hung up, man. And for one, I'd like to think that I'm a genuinely good person.
Yes.
We'll just go with that, but I'm in it for the long run, so I'm not gonna like constantly screw people over and then be like, I'm on top of the world still. Like, dude, you have no idea how fast people have no idea how fast they can get shut down. Well, and it's really scary.
I remember when I first messaged you about getting something, and I imagine I'm not even the most questions asked probably weren't from me, but I remember I asked a shit ton of questions, and the first few pieces of stabwood you showed me, I was like, and you kept showing me stuff, and the biggest thing to me that was like, you were really good at setting boundaries, but letting me know that like don't bug me, but you know, hit me up on Fridays and I will give you an update every Friday, which I think is awesome because you're not telling me to leave you alone. You're not telling me I'm going to ignore you. I get to stay in contact with you the whole time, and you're telling me when I can, you know, when you'll be free and have an update. And so I really respected that and thought that it was cool. And there's other people who I've bought mods from that I kind of start getting anxiety because they aren't responding to me. They're not staying in communication. And I'm like, all right, man, I just gave you $500 and you're not responding to me. And it's been 4 days.
It's scary. Yeah. I mean, people kind of take that for granted. You know, they have the money in their pocket and they're like, okay, you just wait now, you know, like I'm in charge whenever I'm completely aware that I'm not in charge as much as I want to think I am. I'm not, you know, like right. I can think all day long, like I'm good, man. I got orders coming in for days. Who cares about this guy? Well, that guy's going to turn into this guy, and this guy, he could possibly be coming back next. I mean, he could be coming back next week to buy another mod. There still is a Japanese guy, multiple Japanese people, but this one guy in particular. And he started off, he bought one mod, and I remember he checked in with me so much. Now, it takes a lot to drive me crazy. Like, I'm really patient. Like, I mean, I'm probably going through maybe 40 messages a day on average, and those aren't real orders. Those are just questions. You know, so I have a lot of patience, but this guy was just driving me mad. But I stayed cool because I knew that it would pay off. I didn't know how it would pay off, but I knew that it would. And sure enough, that same guy, over the course of, remember I told you about like fueling my learning curve? Yeah. This guy fueled my learning curve for 1.5 years by buying over 36 mods. That one guy bought 36 mods, and I mean, he was offering crazy price. He was like, just whatever you want to do, give me the invoice, I'll pay it, whatever. And I was like so overwhelmed. I was like, and that's why you never leave anybody hanging. Not because you expect 36 orders from somebody, but because that there is always that potential for you to be like that guy to be like, yeah, man, Lazy Vapors was really cool. You should totally hit him up. He makes some cool looking stuff. He's a nice guy and he'll take care of you. And then they're like, okay, that's one more order. Well, and you know, it's just.
And I remember as well, like you didn't just say, here's the price list. You were like, good morning, Eric. Like it was, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm a little corny, man, but I apologize for my corniness. But yeah,
I appreciated it because I didn't feel like you felt like you were just getting $1 out of me. Like you wanted me to get what I wanted. And that's a real cool thing. And there's, you know, I'm not saying that like there's not other modders who aren't great with customer service.
Oh yeah, there's tons.
There definitely is, but what sets you and those guys who are also great with customer service apart is you treat the people as more than just a buck in the pocket, and I think it is. It's probably been scary for you. How long have you been doing this now? You said 20.
I think 4 years. I mean, I was 20. I think I was 22 or 23 when I first started, and I just turned 28. So, yeah, something around there. So I've been doing it over 4 years. I know that for a fact. So yeah, but see, the thing is this is really what I want to tell people is I kind of want them to hang in there with me even though what I'm making now is really cool, like I'm really, I am super pumped about what I have available now. What I have available now is finally what I would buy personally. Like if I saw somebody offering, yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, you know, like I'm proud of my work, and that's a really amazing thing. But even more so, if people just hang in there with me, I've always told this to people from the very, very beginning. I can only work with the tools that I have on hand, but over time I can acquire better tools and more things that allow me to do more things. And I'm telling you right now that I see what's on the market, and I can do all of that times 30. And I just want people to kind of hang in there with me until I reach that point. And then they can finally be like, oh my God, you know, like Lazy Vapors is taking over the world. And that's kind of what I'm like preparing people for. It's like, I see it coming. It's going to be a couple years, but I have some things kind of going through, and I see some things coming in, and I'm just like, okay, just wait. Like you haven't seen anything, like truly. And it's interesting. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens in the future. Yeah, for sure.
So have you ever thought about experimenting with, I'm just curious, like a Illuminite SLS and that kind of stuff?
I'm not sure what that is.
3D printed mods?
Yeah, so I actually had an idea for a...
like this.
Yeah, so I actually had an idea for a hybrid between, what is it called? Illumide?
Mm-hmm.
Illumide? So I had an idea for a hybrid Illumide and stab wood where part of it was handmade and then part of it was 3D printed, but the Illumide parts actually came through the handmade sections. It kind of came through and kind of meshed in with it. It's really difficult to explain, but a buddy of mine, he was a customer of mine, and after talking to him, probably oh geez, I don't know, man. Me and him used to talk all the time. We still talk every now and again, but over time, I kept telling him, dude, because he used to always say, man, I want to get a 3D printer. I want to do this, but I don't have the money, but I don't have the funds. And I'd say, dude, just do it. It'll pay itself off in 6 months based on what you're telling me. And next thing you know, he bought 2 of them, and he's been doing it ever since. And he gives me credit. I don't take all of it at all, but because it took him to make the jump. But yeah, I'm going to get with him and have kind of like a fusion between that Illumide 3D printed stuff and then what I do. It's going to be very interesting. There's, do y'all know Matt Bennett?
Yeah.
Matt, does that ring a bell?
Yep.
Okay, so yep. I was talking with Matt Bennett because I don't personally know many machinists.
He does the Moondrop type mods too, right?
Yeah. Most of his mods are Moondrop, and I was talking to him the other day because he kind of gets where I'm coming from. He's more of that, like, more by the book machinist. You know, he's more like, you know, like if it has to be written in a book in order for him to kind of elaborate on it. But he knows how I work. I'm kind of out there and weird with designs and stuff like that. And I told him I was explaining something to him. So me and him could be having a little bit of what do you call it? Like whenever collaboration. That's the word. And so yeah, there's that. There's a lot of ideas, man. But I like what I have going right now, just as is. But yeah, there's some crazy stuff in the future, man, for sure. The vape world is really only seen the very just little tip of the iceberg from Lazy Vapors, 100%. Yeah.
So have you ever had a design that you felt like was going to be great, but it flopped?
Yeah, many times.
So casually said that. Yeah, many times.
Well, what I'm asking, how do you come up with your ideas? What gives you inspiration for your designs?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, inspiration. Okay, whenever I was a kid, I used to so I had this little blue notebook, right? It was like this little shitty blue notebook from like the dollar store, and I had just a bunch of loose leaf notebook paper in it, and I would draw out these like houses in like futuristic buildings that were like cut in half, and you could see what was going on in each individual room, right? And they used to get really detailed. I mean, I used to work on one drawing for maybe 2 months at a time, and there'd be little guys climbing up a ladder to like a helicopter made out of candy canes, and it was just, you know, it was wacky. And then it kind of evolved to where I was going to Michael's and buying boxes of like thousands and thousands of popsicle sticks, and I would get just like the huge bags of glue sticks and glue guns and all that shit. And I would sit there for hours and hours and just put together stuff. And then I discovered Leonardo da Vinci, which the guy on my wall. And I discovered him and learned about him. And I did a project on him. And I discovered I really just liked the idea of like how everything was put together and how it worked. And you could see it all working simultaneously and how it worked. And then I was like, that kind of like almost, it came about out of necessity. But it was still vaguely inspired by, you know, more of like a old school artist and sort of like era. I wouldn't say steampunk. I don't think that's accurate, but that if you're asking where my inspiration came from, it came from my childhood. Yeah, that's where it's all spanned directly from my childhood. And a lot of things that I build, nobody sees. I build things that I don't post. I build things that are not vape related. That I don't post. I just make it and keep it, sell it, or just make it and trash it. You know, I build a lot of stuff besides mods. But
so yeah. I heard you say earlier something about making a stand. So you do atomizer stands too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do those run for? I'd be really really interested in one of those.
So David Sloop, I believe he is. Let me see. He's been sending me messages. I think he's watching and kind of just. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. I think it's been him. Yeah. So David Sloop is actually the only guy. Excuse me. That owns one of my stands. He actually hit me up on a whim, but I charged him I believe, David, if you're in the comments, just correct me if I'm wrong. I think I charged him it was between 150 or 250. I can't remember, but it was pretty cool. The stand itself was really, really neat. It had like larger dragon scales within, and then the middle of each dragon scale was a actual place for you to screw your Addy into. There was 8 Addy holders, and then the center was actually a cutout specifically designed for my LiPo DNA 250C Squonk, and it actually had underneath it had like a little channel for you to put your charging cord through, and then a little lever to kind of hold the cord up in place so it didn't kind of get underneath the feet. So yeah, to answer your question, it's like between 150 and 250.
He said 180 in the chat.
180, yeah.
Now, just curious, because he just jumped into the chat room. Has Jay Hayes ever gotten a hold of one of your mods? Have you ever?
So the story, no. The answer is no. But I met Jay Hayes for the first time at a God, I can't remember. Spencer, if you're down in the comments, you feel free to speak. I was at NVE in, I believe it was Alabama, and I was at the Modders Gallery, and Jay Hayes came walking up. He had like a whole entourage following him. Everybody's like all goo over Jay Hayes, and I've never been one to like. I'm not into that kind of thing. I don't follow idols, but I took notice of him, and he comes walking over, and he's kind of like making his rounds, and everybody's coming up to me like, "Yo, Jay Hayes is here, man. He's definitely going to come to your booth." And I was like, "Hey, great. That's awesome. I can't wait to meet him, wonderful." And he comes up and he's like, I think he's very much like he is in videos in real life, just from the short little interaction that we had. And he picked up my one of my LiPo DNA 250Cs that was already sold. The guy that was going to buy it was just a really nice guy. And he's like, "Hey, just hold it. I'm going to be right back. Give me like an hour or something. I just got to check my funds and call my wife and all that stuff, I was like, "Right on. That's fine, man. I totally believe you." He's like, "I swear to God, I'm not going to leave you hanging." I was like, "Well, hey, do whatever you got to do, man." And then Jay Hayes came around and wanted to see that exact one that guy was going to buy. Right. And so I let him hold it. And he like was holding it and he closed his eyes. I'll never forget this. He closed his eyes and he held it to his side and was like feeling it and stuff. It was kind of weird, but he was just like, I guess he was trying to feel how comfortable it was or something. I'm not really sure. But he's like, "How much for this?" And I told him the price. I said, "But this one's not for sale." And he goes, "No, how much?" And I was like, "Well, it's not for sale." He goes, "Put a number on it." I said, "It's not for sale." And made me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't really like that. But I didn't sell it to him, and he told me, he was like, "Well, send me an email," and I was like, well, "What are your favorite colors?" And yeah,
he said he said in chat, he said you were supposed to email him. Just to be really upfront and honest, if I had seen something that I really wanted, I probably would have pulled the same move. You said I'd have been like, well,
it threw me off a little bit.
I'll double whatever. If I really like it, I'll double whatever you were asking for it. Just yeah.
Yeah. It made me feel weird though, because I wasn't really sure what to say, you know, because I was like really appreciated that he liked it so much, but I felt uncomfortable because I was like, you know, this one's taken.
Yeah, you already
like,
told somebody.
I want it, you know.
I do want to say something. Honestly, that speaks to your character as a modder, that a celebrity or pseudo-celebrity, a vape celebrity came up to you and wanted that mod, and you still held it for a nobody who said, I'll be right back. That says a lot about your integrity.
Yeah, thank you.
I agree with that.
Do
you still make the 250C?
Oh yeah. I actually have a couple. I have one right here.
Well, because I remember when we were making mine, I remember you had two blocks of different stab. And I remember we were talking about it, and we were like thinking that it wasn't going to look very good together. And I remember you pulled it off, man, because it came out. I mean, you would never known that those two colors would have went together like that. And this is probably one of the best looking mods I have, you know?
Yeah, I love it, man. I remember you were going back and forth with me for a little while, and you were like, I'm just not sure. And I was like, man, listen, you literally can't put two together that won't look good. I mean, I remember weird color combinations that just I thought would never look good, and then I did them, and I was like, damn it, this is great.
So
like brown and pink, like what? And it works. Yeah.
Chat feels gypped. They said that you left out the best part of the story. Did the guy come back?
Yes, he came back. He came back, and guess what? You'll never believe this.
It's Elite Cage in chat right now, isn't it?
It's a what?
Is he in chat right now? Is it the same guy who bought the Addy stand?
David Sloop bought the Addy stand.
Oh, okay.
But Spencer Fernandez, he very well may be in the chat.
He was, but I know Spencer. Yeah.
Yeah, so Spencer actually saw the video. There was actually a live video that was streamed from Jay Hayes. And I didn't say, I never make anything public. It wasn't dramatic or it wasn't bad. It made me feel a little weird, but there's a lot of things that make me feel weird that I just don't feel like telling everybody, you know, there's no reason to. But Spencer was watching the video, and he sent me a clip. He sent me a screenshot of me standing there to Jay Hayes. And he's like this, you know, he's like, basically like, are you going to sell it to me? And I'm looking at him like, no. And like, he sent me a screenshot of that, and he's like, so what happened here? And I was like, oh, how did you manage to find that? The whole video is like 2 hours long, you know?
So it's funny. You talked about the eye close thing. I don't close my eyes, but I'll hold it and I'll turn my head. And I'll kind of like turn it around in my hands when it's something more expensive. If it's cheap and it just looks, or, you know, less expensive and it looks cool, I'll just buy it. But I kind of do the.
Hey, did you notice? Hey, Eric, in Vegas, did you notice I was doing that with the Chronic box when I was talking to you? I was flipping it around in my hand.
You were talking to me and feeling it. Yeah, so I kind of do something similar. I don't necessarily close my eyes, but I'm not looking at it. I'm just kind of feeling.
I don't know, man. I feel like when I get a box mod, man, I want to see it, man. Especially, I don't know what I do when I.
Well,
I just want to make sure it can either thumb fire or finger fire. That's always a plus.
Well, I mean, when I haven't bought it, you know, like when I'm at an expo and I got something in front of me and that's, you know, I go to expos with a limited amount of money. Bill saw me struggle over this in Vegas because I set myself a budget. It's usually a pretty decent budget, mind you, but I set myself a budget, usually a couple grand, whatever. But then I always say, okay, I'm going to get this one thing. And so like one mod and the rest RDAs or whatever. And so like at Vegas, I set my limits on one mod, and I had already told David Stratum that I was going to go back and get the Spade. And then the Kronig was in front of me and the Tiny Volcano was in front of me. There was stuff. Seth, were you at Vegas this year?
No, I was not. No.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. Okay, good. Because I would have definitely, I'd probably gotten that then. Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't have bought the Spade. I would have probably got one of these bad boys then. But Yeah, when I'm in person, I'm trying to make that decision, and I'll go around first, and I'll do that whole.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back
that's
later.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
And
I guess it makes more sense now after that was the first time that's ever happened. So I definitely was not I was not expect. I didn't even know what was going on, to be completely honest. But it was kind of funny. But yeah, there's some funny, man. Conventions are weird.
Do you want to? What's your newest mod out right now? The one that you were showing earlier. Do you want to show it again?
Oh God, yeah.
The newest one.
The new, like the one that kind of points up and.
Oh, the ergonomic
one.
Yeah.
That is definitely vape fat material.
It's what now?
That's fat material right there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this is the spalt. I think this is spalted hackberry. Let me see. I got to open up my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that very good.
Ooh.
See, I love that. Spalted is beautiful.
That in a regulated too, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be offering this. The first one that's going to be regulated that has the ergonomic is going to be the single 2700, single 21775C non-squonk. That's the first one that's going to be like that, because the extra width that has to be put on in order to make it ergonomic makes some stab wood unusable, because most vendors cut them to a certain width, which is normally it's around 63 millimeters. But whenever you have to add that ergonomic, you have to add a lot of width. So I can't right now. My stab wood vendors, if I were to order a custom block, it just takes so long. It's not their fault. It's just the way it is. But what I am going to do is oh my God, I'm getting tied up with clamps and all this stuff. Let's see here. So this dragon scale right here is going to be the first. This is from a good customer. Now I feel like a shit. I don't remember his name. Super nice guy, but he wanted to go. He loves natural wood, whatever. And he's like, "What is the craziest thing you can make?" And I was like, well, the craziest thing I can make is something dragon scale. Dragon scale is just the bread and butter of Lazy Vapors, because it's just something you don't find anywhere else. And I was like, well, I can do a dragon scale. And he's like, I really like that new ergonomic shape. Could you do that with a regulated? And I was like, I could, but what do you want exactly? And he's like, I want a non-squonk. So he kind of inspired the first one, but this is the dragon scale that's going to be used for that. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I mean, that looks dope, man.
Yeah, it's a brown Mally Burl, Bacote, and spalted hackberry all in one. And that's going to be
I need to hit you up for a dragon scale, man. That's what I need to do.
Oh yeah, that's really what everybody kind of always builds up to. They start with something just to see how my work is, and then over time they are like, okay, fine, I'm ready to do. Let's just go all the way and do the dragon scale. So I think it's about that time for you, man.
Did you say that you would be able to make the ergonomic one into a squonk sometime, regulated squonk at some point?
At some point, yeah. If it was dragon scale, I could do it, because dragon scale I can technically make as big or small as I need to. Speaking of dragon scale being as big or small as I need to, I actually am working on panels right now. So this is just one side of the panel. Hold on one second.
So cool.
All right, so this is just one side of the panel. This is for the this was a full custom, by the way. This gentleman had been paying on this mod for, oh my God, man, maybe 4 months. He would send 50, 75, 100, something like that every once in a while. But this was for the big giant LiPo 250C for this one. I know this isn't everybody's like trying to show LiPos off like dicks or something, but this isn't the biggest LiPo, but it's a 3700. 4S. Yeah. So he wanted a non-squawk 250C.
Is that for like a suitcase phone?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, right? Yeah, it's huge. But this is the dragon scale that I'm going to be using, and so this is how it. Yeah, it's huge. So this is how it starts off.
Holy shit!
Yeah, this is the biggest dragon scale I've ever done. So what I'm getting to is I can make dragon scale as big or small as I need to. I actually had somebody ask me how much it would cost to do a dragon scale for a guitar, and I was like, oh my God, do you really want to know? Yeah, I was like, well, Dragon scale that big, it's gonna be at least $3,000, man.
So wait, that's actually pretty cool that you let people pay in increments then, right?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. You mean payments?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot of modders do that, and I think that's actually something that's could help someone really get a mod they want, because not everybody can dish up 500, 600 at one time. So that's actually, I salute you for that, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, payments are cool. I tell you what, I don't know how many orders I really would in reality be getting if I didn't allow payments. I think most people have a hard time saving. I mean, as I think everybody does, really. But
I mean, I paid all at once, but.
Well, it's like I think I would say it's about 75% of people that split it up into payments.
Yeah, and
I've only had 2 people hold off on me. I've only had 2 people back out on the last payment. But
I'm just talking shit. I know I wasn't always in this position to be able to do that, and it is awesome. And I know, I know a lot of people who, I am in a lucky situation. I have to work my ass off, but I am in a fortunate situation right now where I was able to do that. And, I spent a third of my childhood homeless, so I definitely know what it's like to not have. So I'm just talking shit. I just want to get that out there. I totally understand why people need to make payments.
No, yeah, and I appreciate that. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
It made me who I am. I actually, as weird as it sounds, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, I totally get down with that. Yeah, I mean, but the payment thing it's helpful because it allows people to own something really cool, and they don't have to kind of sweat it. And I've only had 2 people stand me up, but
I was
hard
times
ask, happen.
Did you refund them or no?
No, I never read that. That's one thing, and I don't know how ethical that sounds, but as far as business goes. Whenever you pay a deposit or a down payment, I start an order. So since it is custom, it's not so easy for people would think. I've never had anybody say this, but I can see where this could be an argument where people are like, well, you can just turn around and sell that. And it's not as easy as people think it is to turn around. I mean, I could be sitting on a mod for 3 months before it sells. So deposits and everything are non-refundable.
I think that's okay just because, a lot of modders will do that because I know of another DPM will let you pay the deposit first. And if you can't pay the rest later, I mean, you're not getting your deposit back. So, because once you make something custom, there's no saying if someone else will like that,
Yeah, exactly.
It's for someone's taste.
Speaking of custom, Jeff J had a great idea. Dragon scale billet box panels, if you could do them.
Yeah, I've actually had that. I've had that question asked. So there's a handful of things that I do, and I think that only I do for now, which is the dragon scale, the fish scale, that new resin stuff. That new resin stuff. I don't think anybody's even come close to that yet. The mosaic. Y'all should be familiar with the mosaic. Mm-hmm. The new mosaic stuff. I've had people come to me and request just my materials, but whenever it comes to my materials, especially, and I really, really am pretty strict on this. Whenever it comes to the dragon scale and fish scale, they're for my mods and my mods only. So I don't want to make another company look good with something very unique. And, does that make sense?
No,
yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And like Mitch brought up another thing. Would you consider using Juma as one of the add-ons inside your stuff?
Yes, absolutely. I don't even have it right now. I've used Juma twice, and I'd be happy to use it again and again and again. A Juma makes great frame material. Juma is really, really strong stuff. It's not good with heat. It's like heat is Juma's worst enemy. It just is just a bear. So whenever you're taking a big flat surface and you're putting it on a belt sander, a lot of heat gets generated, and that Juma will just kind of just go just nuts. But along the frame, oh man, the frame. Whoever's asking about the Juma, if you go on my page, I know there's a lot to sort through, and you can even message me if you like, and I'll find it for you. But I've done 2 Juma mods with golden Juma and spalted maple for the front and the back, and that is I did Ambonia. And then I did Golden Juma for the last one. It was incredible. and Bonya, another Italian guy in the woods. And,
that was the brother of the Italian guy with the babinga.
Yeah, babinga and Bonya. Basta ka man go to fusa ice cream.
It's a me, Mario.
Yeah, but Juma's totally cool, man. I love Juma. Juma's good looking stuff.
So it's funny because I was actually kind of disappointed when I found out what Juma actually was. Or I don't know, maybe there's like a real Juma and a knockoff Juma, but that it's just resin in like a screen. Is that right?
Is that right? I didn't know that.
You just cast resin in a screen, and it gives it the scaly look. That's what I've been told. Another guy who makes little mech mods that I know who lives about half an hour from me, and that's how he makes his Juma. I was wondering because I've heard that Juma's only sourced from one area, so I'm wondering if there's like a real Juma, just like there's Damascus and that other stuff that looks like Damascus, but it's actually plastic of some sort.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm wondering if it's like not real Juma and people just call it Juma.
No,
that's a good question.
It's resin cast over a screen, and what they do is they pull the screen out on an angle to give it those weird shapes.
Yep.
That's all.
Whoa.
William Graybeard. I don't think he's in chat, but that's who showed me that, and he makes them himself. But so there you go. I know you've probably got what you need to do that.
Wow. That's interesting. I never knew that. That's like the first time I figured out how to make pimento cheese. I was like astounded that it was only 3 ingredients. I hate pimento cheese, but I was just intrigued by it was so easy to do. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Now you got my brain going. How about that?
Hey Seth, I know you said you don't like to put your stuff on other people's mods.
Yeah.
Do you think if I send you my food chai, you could make it high end?
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Maybe, man.
Look, he looks so serious.
Just the squonk door. Just the squonk door. That's all I want.
Just the squonk door.
Yeah, maybe I can do that.
It'd be worth like triple what it is now.
Yeah. How much is it worth now?
Oh, like $8,000.
He said.
Yeah.
Make me some custom doors.
Bill, say that again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, brother.
I said, if you're making doors for his food chai, can you make me doors for my Sigelli 150?
Oh my God, you're killing me.
Hey man, that could be a lucrative business.
So Jay said that the kind of Juma we're talking about is not real Juma. It's kind of like a knockoff. That there is a real Juma out there. But yeah, I still think it's astounding when you find out those simple little. Well, even just like the resin, a guy at the shop here started making his own drip tips just to learn, and he's gonna slowly learn how to do other stuff too. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just bought a kit on Amazon." I'm like, "What? Like that's all you gotta do?"
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not know. I know the I guess authentic vendor of Juma, the stuff that just, I mean, I don't know who this company is or who this guy is, but the stuff that he makes is really nice. I'm assuming he's the real Juma master. Huh?
That's the guy out of Russia?
This guy is not out of Russia. If the real guy's out of Russia, then this ain't him. And then this guy is he's just another guy.
That's where I believe from, Jay obviously knows what he's talking about, but from what I had heard, the real Juma, you gotta get it from some guy in Russia, and they got it like unlocked. It's somewhere up in that area.
Oh my God, that would be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'll experiment with that here. It's funny because after you said that, I have some ideas because I've never seen multicolored Juma before, and I have some ideas for some multicolored Juma. How cool would that be? That would be neat. Yeah, like some crazy like bright teal and purple and blue Juma with different. Yeah, that would be sick. Interesting.
So wait, can Juma be different colors, or it's just usually one color, right?
Well, if they're only doing it in one colors, then they're really putting themselves in a box. Because if that's all it is, if that's all it is, even if I'm sure there's an art to everything, for God's sake. But if that's essentially all it is, I'll do some experiment and see what I can come up with. You know.
Well, Jay said in the chat that it's out of Europe. The real dude's out of Europe.
It's 3 guys.
Oh, really?
3 guys.
All right, I tell you what, Seth. because this was birthed here, if you make a multicolored Juma box, I want first crack at it.
Yeah, you got it, man. That's I'm gonna do a little research. I have looked at that stuff and looked at it, and I could never figure out how they did it. But that makes so much sense now. Once again, I am so sure that there is an art to it to make it look very, very good and crisp. But I don't know how much time. I don't know if I need that much time. I mean, if I need that much time to perfect something like that, because I tell you what, Matt Manning is he's a phenomenal stab wood block maker. And a lot of the really good stuff I have, like the stuff I'm taking to Germany, is from Matt Manning. And dude, I'm telling you what, everybody and their mama makes stab wood now. But that guy, he is just doing something that it's magic. I don't know what he does. So if that's how Juma is, then I got a lot of practice ahead of me. But that's interesting for sure. That's something I'm very.
Have you ever seen Juma?
Yeah, I've worked with it. I mean, I have some right here.
Okay, I just didn't know if you'd never seen it before.
So
oh yeah,
I'm just doing a little research, so I could be completely wrong here, but it looks like the real Juma, that you can make Juma stuff that looks like Juma that's just straight resin, but that the actual Juma actually has different kind of mineral bases in it, and that makes it stronger, and it makes it glue better to other things, and that kind of stuff sounds proprietary. But
yes,
but that the resin itself and casting it the way Bill was talking about is a way to do something that looks very similar, but to get the actual, those guys must have the proprietary mix that gets it to be as strong as it is with their stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there's got to be something. I mean, they're probably pulling an apple. You know how apples, everything's prep. What's the word again? I'm normally really good with vocabulary. What is it?
Monopoly?
No. What was that word? The PR word.
Proprietary.
Good Lord. Oh man, that escaped me. Yeah, that. But yeah, I'll figure something out. That's exciting. Yeah, I have a little vacuum chamber behind me, and then my big vacuum chamber is at the shop. So we'll see. I'll work something up for sure.
So you have a tinker room and a shop?
Yes. Yeah, my tinker room is pretty cool. So this is I know I just showed you the 80s posters behind me, but I have a whole wall of just so I have two stainless steel restaurant shelving. Let me see if I can open it up. So all right, there it goes. So I have two stainless steel restaurant shelves, and then I have, this is a live edge slab of black ash, and then I have a bunch of supports. Well, there's my shotgun, there's my rifle,
there's my shotgun.
Then there's my shotgun right there. I'm in North Carolina, and then I got a bunch of just supports. There's my junk. Look at that. Good Lord, I need to clean that up immediately. But yeah, this is just
a pass on that one.
Yeah, thank you. I tried to clean up. I vacuumed, even though you can't tell I did.
I could tell.
Oh, could you?
I could tell.
Oh, that's sweet of you. Thank you for noticing.
Yes. Your vacuuming is on point, sir.
I have a shark. It works good.
Oh, where did you get it? You bought a shark?
I bought a shark with the laser beam attached to its freaking head. No,
Steve doesn't clean anything, so he didn't know that that's a vacuum brand. He thought you were talking about a species that's in the sea.
Sure. I usually I pick up stuff like this, like a crab. You know what I mean? Just like that.
So do
I don't got a vacuum.
Oh God, what just happened? Are y'all still there?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I think I just oh my God. Oh,
he's pulling a Bill, man.
He's pulling a Robo Bill.
Seth.
Shit. Okay, I think I got it. Oh, there I am.
There he is.
Whoa. All right, cool. Sorry.
That's all right.
Ironic that Bill did it the exact same time, except Bill didn't. Bill's internet did it.
Did he really?
Yeah. Look at
We're
him.
accustomed to this, so don't worry.
Now he's back. Bill has spent lots of money and lots of time trying to fix his internet. He's had the motherfuckers come out, and they still haven't fixed his shit, and nobody can understand it.
I think they gave him dial-up.
I'm kind of a tech nerd, and I've tried to help him, and he's listened and done the right things, and it still doesn't.
It doesn't work.
Last one's coming. I ordered a Netgear Blackhawk range extender.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of stuff that like you still had, do you still have the stand from that show that you built yourself that looks like, I don't know, you showed me a picture back in the day. It was like your booth, but you ended up using it for dressers or something.
Oh yeah. It's my my entertainment center in my living room. Here, hold on one second. Let me see if my wife's asleep. Uh,
Well, I just thought this thing was actually pretty fucking dope. Sorry for cussing, but yeah, I remember seeing this thing.
I may have to be quiet because I think the baby may be sleeping. But give me 1 second.
But why, Steve? Why'd you just fucking apologize for fucking cussing? I don't fucking get it.
I don't know, man. It just seemed unnecessary at the moment.
Oh, what is it? What is on the TV? That's what my girlfriend looks like when we wake up in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah. Did y'all see it?
Yeah.
I couldn't talk.
It was kind of dark, so I don't think we got the full presentation, but I appreciate you trying.
I did. I tried. Yeah, but it's in there. Yeah, it's a shame because I spent so much time on that damn booth, but ever since I've been in those modders galleries, everything has to be pretty uniform, so I can't go toting that thing around. It was funny. The first event that I went to with that was in VCC in Tampa, and I come lugging that centerpiece, and it's cool because I made it where the top can be taken off, and then it has two steel crossbars that you can put on your shoulder. So I'm walking through the event at the very setup day, and I have this whole big gigantic center thing that probably weighs 250 pounds on my shoulders, just walking through with lazy vapors like on my chest practically. It was pretty funny.
Wait, you said you have to be, sorry, you have to be uniform at the events. You can't have different setups.
No, you can't bring anything besides like a banner or something like that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty, but it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I've thought of ways to spruce my booth up. Now for Germany, what I'm doing, because they give you such a small, very very small booth, like it's literally like the little glass case is probably 36 inches wide by maybe 22 inches deep. But what I'm doing is I'm actually building a massive dragon scale panel, but out of big dragon scales, not little ones, but probably about that big. And I'm gonna use all different types of wood for that. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of wood. And I'm gonna make a big giant dragon scale panel, and there's gonna be probably 10 lazy Stuzens that are all gonna be connected to one motor drive. So all the mods are gonna sit on these little kind of like pedestals and spin simultaneously. And I figure that's a good way to attract attention.
Well, the only reason I brought up the stand is just because when I seen that, man, you're very even the stand, man, is like critiqued down to like the finest. It's like nuts. Just your stand is that nice.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one. I really wanted to make an appearance and stand out because I had gone to many shows before that, but I was like, I've never seen anything really cool. Like everything was very well, I think everybody notices this. Whenever you go to shows, everything is very much. It looks like everybody went to the same company and said, "I want my booth to look like this," and they all wanted the same thing, except they all have different logos and colors. It's like cookie cutter kind of sort of. But I was like, I don't want that.
Vegas was the first time that I had been where it wasn't like that. Would you agree, Bill? Vegas.
Sorry, say that again. I was reading the chat.
Vegas was the first time that I went, and it wasn't all cookie cutter like that. Every other expo I've been to was very, very cookie cutter.
Vegas wasn't no joke. They really did a nice job on that. And the Modders Mart, they let them basically take control of their own booth and do what they wanted inside there.
That's awesome. I'd love to do that, man. God, that'd be great. I like decorating stuff, and I always try to bring like driftwood and try to set it up. I got a bunch of driftwood that I collect, and yeah, I'd like to do something like that. Maybe the events will kind of allow that more this year. I'd like that. I'd like to spruce everything up a little bit more, but it's okay if I don't. You know, I get to go there for free. That's always nice.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, I mean, they back in the old days before I was anybody. I'm still working on being somebody, but back whenever I was really nobody, they used to fly modders out. They would pay for their flight. They would pay for their hotel room. They would obviously give you a spot for free. I mean, they really catered to modders. I mean, like really catered to them. Now they give you a spot for free, which I think is great, you know, but they don't do all that extra luxurious stuff like they once did. But that's just because times have changed, and I think there's more modders, so they don't. That's a lot of money, man. Trying to fly everybody out.
Probably wouldn't be profitable to do that.
I don't think so. I mean, because if you're flying modders out there that don't have necessarily a big following, then you're not really. It's like you're attracting people because you have a modders gallery, but you're not attracting like a certain demographic because this modder has a huge following and this guy has a huge following.
Honestly, the way Vegas was set up, it was mostly about the modders gallery. I mean, granted, they had a CBD show going on at the same time that was connected, but most of the show was just juice. It was mostly juice and a lot of pod systems. But the big draw, everybody was basically gathered around the modders gallery the whole time.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, the modders gallery really does seem to attract a lot of really good attention because it kind of brings that other bit of crowd in, like versus the everybody that wants what do they call it? Team free shit or something? Yeah. Team. Yeah, yeah. I'm not good with all that lingo, but yeah, like it attracts the people that actually come there with a little bit of money in their pocket. So yeah, modders galleries are an essential thing. There was for a little while there, I was wanting to start my own event up, and then I found out the costs associated with starting your own event up. I was like, oh my god, that's just too much of a headache. But I wanted to do a hardware only show, and it would have been yeah. See, just that instant reaction makes me know that it was a good idea, but I just don't even know. I just don't even know the first. We had a location set up, we had everything set up. I was wanting to do live music. I was wanting to do like kind of like a barbecue deal where it was like big giant spits with like whole pigs on it. Like that's how I grew up. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, and I just had this like idea of like just all hardware. That is so amazing, like juice shows are. Whenever you have a bunch of juice, you go there, you get your juice, you leave. But if it's all hardware, like really cool shit, dude, you can stay there for hours and never see everything. Like no, there's no way, like that would be something I would love. And it's funny because it got shot down so many times, but I had this idea that every modder was guaranteed to make at least $1,000 by way of people paying their entrance fee. So for everybody that came, it would be put into a pot, and each modder would automatically be allowed $1,000 in cash just for showing. Like just to show up, you get $1,000, and then whatever you sell is yours to keep. And I was like, that's an amazing idea. But it was like, everybody was like, oh, that's not a good idea. I was like, how is that not a good idea? If somebody told me, because all the events I go to, you don't know if you're going to sell anything at all, versus going to a show and being like, hey, here's $1,000. Thanks for coming. Like, what? Like, that's amazing. Like people would come for sure.
I mean, honestly, a lot of them would probably parlay that and say, hey, you know what? Instead of $1,000, we'll pay for your flight out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that would be, I mean, that too. I just thought it was a great idea, and there would still be a ton of money on the offshoot. I mean, it would just, I don't know. I thought it was a good idea, but I couldn't figure out how to get the funds together because I think it came up to like about $250,000. And I was like, damn, I don't know about this, man. So I kind of backed off a little bit. I got a little scared.
Sure. I mean, that's a big chunk of change, man.
Hell yeah. Now,
you were talking to other modders were they interested though? Were there people that wanted to do it too? It was just the money only was the part that was out of it.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was very strange. It's hard to explain the kind of feedback that I got because I don't think as clearly as I laid it out, it was like it wasn't being understood. I was like, dude, listen, it's a hardware only show. People are killing for something. People would die for something like that.
Yeah, man, I'd go to that for sure.
Yeah, a bunch of people would to know that, but then they were like, well, what if people don't come? It's like, okay, well, that's every other show. What if people don't come to the show that y'all go to and don't make any money? Sure. Like what if, and it was a really tough sell. I mean, it was really tough. Even the people that knew that I was, obviously not just, coming like just in some like weird fantasy land, they still were like really put off by it. I was like, what are y'all so put off by? This is a great idea. Like, let's all chip in and yeah, this is going to be great.
One of the things that I liked that you said was about the barbecue, because I noticed with every show, the one thing missing is what Eric and I were involved in at Vegas, and that is an after-show party for everybody. You know, not just the exclusives, not just celebrities. We had Tony B. We had Sean Maddox, who does the doors for everybody. We had Phoenix Vapor, myself, and a couple other people were there.
Scott,
I was there.
I tell you, it was Scott from Squonk America was there, and dude, it was all we did was meet at a little local hole-in-the-wall bar and hung out and talked. You know, and it allows smoking inside because we all know Vegas is stuck in the 80s, so everybody smokes everywhere. And we had a blast. That was, believe it or not, that was the best time I had that whole show, was hanging out with everybody.
And it was a good show too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think if
go ahead,
God, no, you guys. I was gonna get off topic, so if you're still on topic, go ahead, Seth.
No, actually, that show's supposed to be even bigger. They said I talked to my brother-in-law who works at the convention center, and he said next year they're booking out 4 more halls. So they're going to take up that whole top floor.
Crap.
Damn. Well,
good Lord. Well, let's hope they book it up with some hardware.
So Black Cat Whiteface is in chat, Mr. Scott, who's been on here a few times, and he made a little joke because I went on his show, Vaping Hot Tub, him and Charlie. I don't think Charlie's in chat right now. And they do like a joke question where they just try to get a laugh, you know what I mean? And so he asked me about if I ever slept with a midget.
What have you?
Well, he didn't know, and I feel like it's a detriment to not say it on our show as well. He did not know that, yes, I have.
Whoa, how was that?
Well, I don't remember it. But
oh no!
I woke up in the morning, and not only was she a midget, but she was old enough to be my grandma. I was about 20. I was in my early 20s, and
that's terrifying.
I ran out of the house. I grabbed just my wallet. My phone was dead. I ran out of the house. I'm kind of in an area of town where there's like no stores nearby or nothing, so I'm basically running around. Yeah, down the street. None of my shit, including my clothes. Run into a Safeway. Buy a dish towel because they didn't have regular towels. They just had dish towels there. And I ran into a Goodwill, which it dawned on me as I'm telling this story on Scott's show that, Goodwill was right there. I could have ran in and bought like an actual outfit, but whatever. And then I'm calling
his skinny white ass running through the streets.
I'm calling all my I'm calling my roommates because I had multiple of them. Calling a couple different friends, trying to get anybody to come pick me up, and the only person I could get a hold of was my mom. So I had to explain to my mom that I slept with a midget in her late 50s, early 60s. Woke up, didn't know how I got there, ran down the street without my clothes and just my wallet. And, well, I did have my cell phone, but it was dead. And had to find a payphone. And, you know, this is 10 years ago, so there were still 10-ish years ago, so there's still some payphones around. But, yeah, I found one in a Goodwill and was able to get a hold of my mom. But that's
terrifying. I feel bad for you, man. That's a sad story.
Were you in Vegas?
No, I was in Olympia, Washington.
Oh.
Was her name Olympia?
I don't know. I have no idea. And that's an average a Tuesday for Philly Vape apparently. But
yes, that guy. Well, I feel like that's a good way to end the show. Is discussing that Eric has been with a tinier person. So that being said, if you guys are cool, I think that's going to be...
Eric was happy to see that tiny person that made his feet look bigger.
Yeah, man, I had a good time. I appreciate y'all having me on and let me talk and cut up with you guys. That was nice.
Yeah, appreciate you coming, man. We kind of, as a sign out, you can say something to chat, let them know where to find you, all of that stuff.
Yeah, just Facebook or Instagram. Just start typing in Lazy Vapors, and you'll find me somehow. Pretty easy. Yeah, Lazy Vapors, Box Mods, Astrif, main page, Astrif. And even if you join the wrong page, it says clearly on there, because I had to shut down the old page because Facebook was doing something strange, and I just started a new one. So you'll find me if you want to find me. And my name is Seth Catley, so you can always just add me personally. or just hit one of these guys up and they'll direct you.
Well, Mr. Cooper.
He froze.
Y'all know where you can find me, Cooper's Vaping Guru. I want to say thank you to everybody in chat. You guys are the reason we do what we do, and more than happy to do it for you. It is an honor to be here for everybody. It's a pleasure to work with Eric, Steve, Seth. Thank you so much for being here. I will definitely eventually be able to afford one of your mods, but I think I'll sell my Kronig box to get a Lazy Vapors box. I don't know.
Oh my God.
He takes payments.
Sounds good, guys.
Who is it? Eric over here.
Yeah, we'll make Steve go last and complain that it's already 7:40.
Jesus Christ. 10:40.
7:40. Thank you, everybody in chat. If you haven't, obviously, if you're here on Steve's channel, you've probably already subscribed. But if not, then you really have an easy job to do, and just click that subscribe button. You can find me over at youtube.com/Phoenix Vapor, or just type in Phoenix Vapor in search. And you can find Bill at /Cooper's Vaping View, or just type in Robo Bill in the search, and you'll probably find him, but probably not. Yeah, seriously, I love everybody coming in chat. That's what makes me look forward to this every single fucking week. This is my favorite part. The reviews are cool, but this is really what I love. So I appreciate you all being here. And now that it's 7:41, we'll pass it to Steve.
Well, if you're not first, you're last, I guess. But, I do thank Seth for being here. I always liked your work, man. And if anyone in the chat hasn't heard of him, please go follow him and his page, add him on Facebook, as he said. I want to thank you, Eric, and Mr. Cooper. Mr. William Cooper. I would like to thank you as well. Both of you guys, I do love coming on Mondays and talking to both of you and seeing everyone in the chat. Eric and I are about to hit 1,000 subscribers soon, so that's a big deal. But yes, I do thank everyone. If you could go follow Mr. Bill Cooper himself, Eric the Vaping Politician, either follow both of them, but at Phoenix Vapor, and robobill.com. And thank you guys for being here, and good night.
I'm buying that URL.
Good night, guys.
I'm buying you that URL, Bill. I'm doing it. Everybody's going to go to robobill.com, and their computer's going to freeze.